I'm Rich Carroll. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow you. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a devastating impact on the economy nationally, and the same holds true locally here in Flagler County. Flagler County Financial Services Director John Brower spoke during last week's Flagler County Commission meeting.
Three major areas of lending are sales tax related. County revenue share, we're expecting $200,000 less in FY20 than what was budgeted. Our asset sales tax, $450,000 less. Asset sales tax for local money, we have $530,000 less in the budget.
And that adds up to a loss in sales tax revenue of $1.2 million. Financial Services Director John Brower says it could have been worse.
The impact is offset the first 6 months of this FY20 fiscal year was a bit higher, about 10 to 12% higher than what we budgeted. So the impact is not as great as it could have been if we weren't doing so well before the COVID hit.
He goes on to say that even with the reduced revenue, we're going to figure it out. Flagler's new school superintendent says a plan is in the works to reopen school in the fall. WNZF's John Arking has the story.
New Superintendent Kathy Middlestad says that a group of various stakeholders are coming together to create a workable way forward for schools following the COVID-19 shutdown.
We have a Restart to School task force that's beginning their work on Monday. We've already elicited a lot of feedback through a parent survey that we did and receiving some information from our teachers as well. So all of that will evolve, of course, in guidance with the CDC guidelines. And as it was mentioned earlier, we want to be very mindful of the health standards that we're going to have to set the stage for. So over the next couple of weeks, I'll be anxious to roll that plan out. I know our parents are eagerly ready to hear that, as our school board members are, but we need to be mindful of all the protocols so we can create a safe environment in August for everybody.
The parent survey is still available online at flaglerschools.com. It'll be open through this Friday, June 12th. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arking.
Some county services are returning as more and more reopen their doors. With more, here's Tony Magoo.
It's been announced that the county clerk's office has reopened. Flagler County Clerk of the Circuit Court and Comptroller Tom Bexley made the announcement, thereby resuming operations. Clerk Bexley said, "With the opening, our office will operate according to Phase 2 guidelines recently established by Governor DeSantis. This will incorporate, among other things, social distancing, the mandatory wearing of masks, and hourly cleaning in places where the public does business." Clerk Bexley also added, "The health and safety of our courthouse staff and the public continues to be our top priority." This is being done all while maintaining access to the Clerk of the Court and Comptroller services. If you're interested in learning more about the reopening of the state, you're encouraged to go to the governor's website at flgov.com. And for information on the clerk's office, go to flaglerclerk.com. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
If a hurricane is on the way, shouldn't we evacuate?
Flagler County Emergency Manager Jonathan Lord says only evacuate if your zone is told to evacuate.
If you're not in one of the ordered evacuation zones or type of structures like we'll always throw in mobile homes, because of Florida's building codes, it is safe to stay in your home.
Lord said that they don't want more people at the evacuation centers than are necessary, especially this year.
We will be doing testing. We'll be doing temperature taking in the shelters on a daily basis. And if people do have fevers or exhibit any kind of flu or cold-like symptoms, we will have certain areas within the shelters where we can move them away from the rest of the population.
Lord said plan to hunker down at home if you don't have to evacuate for a storm. To hear more of what Jonathan Lord had to say, download the Flagler radio app and then go to the Free for All Friday podcast. Tomorrow, evacuation zones and flooding. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.